inside. If I could just get next to you, I'd probably be alright. But we're so busy in this life, we always say some other time. Why won't my tears work? It's been a decade since I cried. I got no dog left in the fight. The bar don't match the bite. Me and my old man, we just get fucked up every night. He said, son, these hoes just don't love you. I said, I'll keep that in mind. Those ain't words to live by, wouldn't call that sound advice. Our future doesn't sound too bright, but I just nod and say, you're right, I do. Girl, I can't decide if I should stay and say I tried. I should leave and say goodbye. It's killing me inside. And all my presents to show my affection. Flowers and diamonds and jets through the sky. I'm not here to teach you a lesson. I'm just a caring and passionate guy. Toss with your friends, got you changing your mind. Toss with your friends, got you changing. Toss with your friends, got you changing your mind. Talking to your girl, I miss my friends, you know too much of them have died. I wish that they were still alive, just to see the silver lines. This year me and God, we wasn't seeing eye to eye. I pray to her from time to time. She was busy on another vibe. I can't vent to you through no text message and reply. I need to see you face to face. Gotta look you in the eye, I do. Girl, I can't decide if I should stay and say I tried. I should leave and say goodbye. It's killing me inside. And all my presents to show my affection. Flowers and diamonds and jets through the sky. I'm not here to teach you a lesson. I'm just a caring and passionate guy. Toss with your friends, got you changing your mind. Toss with your friends, got you changing. Toss with your friends, got you changing your mind. Talking to your friends. I know the misunderstanding, of course. I pushed you away.
Today, we're going to craft up some early MLB winners, talk NBA and NHL playoffs, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Davey Martinez has to go. He is not a good coach. He wasn't a good coach in 2019. He got carried by Howie Kendrick, Juan Soto, Ryan Zimmerman. Davey Martinez has not done shit for this team. He is a bad manager, and it is showing right now. What's wrong with cracking a V8 during the Caps game?
Cracking a
What's wrong with
V8,
sitting
dude.
down, trying
Is
to
this a
take
Coors
breath,
Light,
relax?
Krabs? It's
Enjoy your
vegetable
night and-
juice. Like
Yeah.
going home and saying, I'm just going to crack a V8 while watching the Caps game. Like, you need to be put in an asylum. You know, the fastball heavy approach gets a Mets team that is just crushing baseballs and getting no results, not just yesterday, but the whole lineup has been hitting the ball hard and had nothing to show for it, especially recently. Now you get a fastball heavy Ryan Nelson that has his struggles against lefties, and you have a lot of those guys that have been extremely unlucky that are going to see him from the left side.
Bringing in George Pickens. Surely this works out for the Dallas Cowboys. Surely bringing in another veteran here who's toxic, cancer in the locker room, a me guy. Surely that helps out this Cowboys team that already has plenty of those. Jerry Jones, my man, you did it again. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 703 piece. As always, hold the fry. Joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Bookit, start tracking your bets today over there on the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. Go check out Bookit Sports. I promise once you do, you'll keep using that puppy. W app, W Pickett, WBTL, W chat. Hope you guys are doing well. We got Fruity getting involved, giving out some subbies to Pacers in 5. Okay. That's how we're ending TMA.
Love that.
Okay, Fruity. Unbelievable chirp. W's, Crutch Bets as well, coming in, resubbing during TMA. WTMA earlier today. Love to see it. LC, Mikey, Joshy getting the vibes up and moving on a Wednesday afternoon. WTMA. Let's follow suit here, Jovan. Let's kill it today on stream. Okay?
Sure.
W squad rides for last night. We can go ahead and show that recap. Let's fucking go, dudes.
There we go.
Yes.
Shout out
Yes.
Max Muncy.
Shout out Max Muncy. W's. V8 is for men, not boys. I agree, line shopper.
That was
I agree.
actually
And W
wild.
highlights. Yeah, I was watching from afar. I was eating some dinner at the counter in my kitchen, and I just saw Max Muncy standing there for like 3 seconds. And as soon as I saw that, I knew we were guts because he only pimps those that go at least 400. That was an absolute Nukenheimer. Have a day, Max Muncy. He was swiping bags. He was getting base knocks. He was hitting nukes. He might be back. People are saying Max Muncy. He might be back. What's up, Rowdy? I saw you had a great time with the squad last night. W Rowdy, W Trent, WLC, W Rav, I believe, was there. W Rangers game. And I smacked the under in that game. That might have been the freest play of the day. Let's check out how the Sharp Report did overall for yesterday. Jovan, great fucking day. 4-1. Sure you can.
It's never Freddie. Never was.
No.
Yeah.
He was one of the few that did not do shit, really. He had a single. I think that was it. He had so many opportunities. Bases loaded, a couple ducks on the ponds. I think every time he came up, besides maybe one at bat, he had ducks on the pond.
Yeah.
Did not do anything with his ducks. He just left the ducks stray, and he just left them hanging by themselves. Pretty fucked up. W Rowdy. Sure. Thanks for the A's ML last night, Jovan. Really horrific try. Yep. W Mike, when will the A's win another game? Could it be today?
They might never.
Well, they might win today. They're going against Lance McCullers.
He is beef.
They got a chance. Although, I don't know if you've seen any of the squares in that game. It looks like Severino is about to get mucked up as well. In that one, it might not just be McCullers getting mucked up. Maybe that's a good look at Mikey Overs in that game. Okay? Total's at 8.5. We'll talk about the rest of the early starts. That's one of them. That game starts up at 2:10 Eastern. We'll talk about those early games here in a moment. Let's recap Dinger Tuesday, though, first. Okay, W Dinger Tuesday day. Shout out Max Muncy and Jovan. How about a 2-for-3 day from the kids? You got Lars Nootbaar hitting nukes left and right, and you got Corbin Carroll hitting one in the first inning, I believe, first at bat.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you, Goots. Once we saw one get on the board early against the O's, I mean, that was great vibe for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
great vibes.
Yep. And I forgot to bring up, happy accident in the Twitch chats. W Transparency. That Mitchell Parker square, one of the worst squares, if not the worst square of the year.
We might need Nats earned run squared, less thans, and a quick timeout, Krabs. A quick timeout.
That was a mouthful. I think the Nats should just be banned in general, right? Look how far we've fallen from hitting every Nats bet left and right to start the season to not being able to hit one.
I mean, they're just cold, Krabs. There's cold, and you don't need to catch the falling knife. You got to let them get hot again as a club.
Well, it's hard when you get texts in the morning with Dale and Lyle more than fantasy score in the group chat, and then you get told you're not allowed to bet on the team. That's what kind of throws a loop in it for my brain. But I digress. And then we got Jovan not letting me bet on Orioles games, and next thing you know, we got back-to-back Orioles plays in the Sharp Report, and we'll get to that in a moment too. Riddle me that one. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
It's betting on them, Krabs. Betting on them is what we can't do.
It's hard to stay away from the O's. I get it.
I cannot get it less. Dudes, I'll be honest. I cannot get it less. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. America's team. You guys hear the Commanders owner? The wife came out and said that the Commanders are America's team. I kind of like that. Some fighting words for the Cowboys. They might turn into America's team, the Commanders. Now that they're actually goods. And they're the least hated team in the NFL. People forget that. They do. So did anybody get actually porked by the D-backs last night? I know one guy who did. Oh, I honestly feel bad. I love making fun of Trent, just like the rest of us. But that one kind of sucks.
Yeah,
that one kind of stunk. 9 unanswered runs, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
7 unanswered runs by the Pirates in the big 2-5.
We got people in chat who got porked. Yep. We got people in chat who got porked. And not the good kind. Brutal. Oh. We'll talk about that game too a little bit this afternoon. Paul Skeens as a dog against your favorite pitcher in baseball, Zach Gallen. We'll talk about it. We got a couple other games to get to, though, first. W gatekeeping. Looks like Line Shopper cashed out 500 when the D-backs gave up 2 runs. Wow, you're a genius. Line Shopper, sure you can. Sure he fucking can. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I want to pull up some of these early starts. Maybe this is when we could break out Pickett Pro. Could be a good time to maybe pull up Pickett Pro and look at some of these early MLB starts before we dive in and go over the Sharp Report, Jovan. I don't know where your head's at, but would love to talk a little bit about these games starting up here soon. One of them involves your Rays. I guess we can start with that game. You got the Twins, you got the Rays, you got Lopez, you got Rasmussen, who's Cy Young, and Pablo Lopez might be second in that voting as well. He's also having a pretty darn good year, and nobody gives a hoot about it. The guy's got a 2.2 ERA, or 2.3 ERA, excuse me. Having a pretty solid season as well. Jovan, I'm seeing your Rays, though, catching about, 10 cents a steam on the money line. So I don't know where your head's at here. Was it weirder to see, the Twins open up a pick'em? Is it weirder to see, Rasmussen and the Rays as, minus 125 favorites right now? Where's your head at with this Rays game?
Yeah, I don't know that I look at like the game and anything stands out as like super weird to me. I'll tell you what half gut, half brain tells me, though. This lineup for the Rays that I'm looking at is probably going to have a pretty tough time with Pablo Lopez. So I think you need like a super elite Rasmussen start where he gives up no damage in the 5 innings he throws for them to win this game. I'm not so sure they get it, to be honest with you. Probably lean Twins, if anything.
Wow. I mean, looking at some of the squares for the starting pitchers in this game, I certainly agree. Rasmussen's squares don't look great, and he's been great so far this season for your Rays, but the squares make it seem like he might not have his best outing out there today. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Pablo Lopez. I mean, his aren't great either, but I mean, his fantasy score is at least at 33.5. And I don't know, some of his squares make me seem like he might have a decent day. The Rasmussen squares are kind of throwing me off. Looking at the lines on the books in this game, I feel like it does look like it's Rays ML, but after going through Prize Picks, I don't know if I want to get involved.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Plus, like, that pitching out square is interesting because Raz is always 5 and dive. He never really goes that much longer, except the last 2 games he did for God knows what reason. I guess the leash was a little longer and he was a little more efficient against the Jays and the Marlins, and it's probably going to go back to normal now, which he can be good and still pitch 5 innings. He does it all the time. But against the Twins today, that just screams he's going to get into a little pitch count trouble more than the last couple games.
Okay.
It's not good.
We got Rowdy Rhymes in the chat locking in the Grand Salami under. Wow. That could be sharp, Rowdy. I'll be honest. A lot of low totals today, man. A lot of low totals. Let's hope the Yankees don't score 100 runs themselves tonight, and you should be in a good spot. They honestly might, though. Looking at that matchup. We'll talk about that game now. That's a late night, guys. We got plenty of time. W. Rowdy, yes. Sure we can, chat. Let me get the YouTube chat up and moving, too. They're not getting any love to start out this Wednesday. First chat I see from Ryder. Marijuana Mitch is back. Yep, he is absolute dog shit, and he's probably about to lose his job in the rotation, depending on how Trevor Williams pitches tonight. So we'll see. We got a loose Cade Cavalli, who's about ready to get called up, and he's taking somebody's spot until his arm falls off. We'll see. All right. You got GG in the YouTube chat. Sandy Alcantara day, less than earned runs and over pitching outs. I'm him. Okay. Goots, maybe put that in your I'm him lay, because I'm certainly not taking that shit. Sandy Alcantara might just suck. Jovan, thoughts on Sandy getting up and moving again today in the Big 2-5?
You might be bad. I'll tell you, if I'm backing Sandy in that game, I definitely would not do it solely on his back. I'd want to do it in the game and put like Kyle Hart in the mix.
The pitching out square is absurd.
Yeah, but remember how many times we've been through this, Krabs?
Yeah, I do. That's why I don't want to take it, but it is minus 125 to the over against the Padres. It's certainly weird, but that doesn't mean it's going to hit. It could be bait, like every single sharp square he's had all season. It goes less than. You're right. Will I be able to resist today? I don't know. We'll talk about it. The top Timon, yeah, we'll talk about the Braves here in a moment as well. Okay? Sure. Rowdy said, last night I took the under 129 combined runs and finished at 127. That's sick. That's a great way to sweat out the entire slate. Sure you can. Dubs. POD, Kikuchi, more than 2.5 earned runs. Seaburnett, we'll talk about that one in a moment, brother. You and me are aligned once again. All right. We talked about the Rays game. Jovan wants to fade his squads. Let's talk about the Giants and Tigers game. Let's talk about Goots guy Landon Root, who's coming off a pretty good start, I believe. And then you got Jackson Job on the other side as well with a 4 ERA.
2 straight quality starts from Roop.
Yeah.
Roop.
I believe one of those was against the Nats, so it probably doesn't count. But yes. Let me check the Carfax on that. Checking the Carfax on that puppy as we speak. Would love if this app works.
His last 2 starts were against the Nats and the A's. So
okay.
Neither of those really count.
No. And I wish he had more squares up, but he really doesn't. And then you've got Job on the other side. Job is minus 115 in this game. Total drop from 8 to 7.5. Curious of what the splits look like here. Looks like everybody's nuking the under. Okay. And looks like people are betting on Detroit. Not really that surprising.
I've seen a lot of Tigers on the feed today, which is, I guess, not that surprising because it's Landon Roop against one of the hotter teams in baseball, and they're going for the sweep here, I believe. But usually when that's included in the games near a pick 'em, you see a lot of people on the other side. So this is a little irregular, I would say.
Yeah. And some of Jib's squares are sketching me out a little bit too. Like, he's only got Demon and Goblin earned runs allowed squares, but that could be just based off the odds. His fantasy score is at 24.5. I mean, I don't know how much higher you can make it with how he's looked of late. So, interesting.
Yeah.
I love Krabs, situational, flopping. Nats are goats, but if you deal against them, it doesn't count. Okay. Not a lot to make jokes on this show. Strictly just knowledgeable comments. We got Not Sawyer Ball 28 coming in hot, resubbing as well. Just arrived. Have we addressed the Wolves winning in 7 yet? No, we have not. But we will talk about that game on the hardwood. Don't you worry. What's up, Adrian? W's. Roop giving up hits, coming off these shutouts. Probably he's got that 1.5 earned runs allowed square that I like the more than, but it is a goblin. Okay. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. What about the Red Sox and Brewers game? Bayo versus Peralta.
Yeah, I mean, that game was, I guess the Jays-Rangers was probably the most unwatchable game on the slate yesterday. The Brewers, until that Yelich grand slam, was right up there with it. God-awful game, absolutely soared under 1-1, I think, into extras before the grand slam. So I would not be surprised if with Bayo and Peralta on the mat, you get some sneak Turks in this game.
Huh.
Kind of like this over. I think the offense will show up for this one.
Wow. Certainly worries me a little bit, considering Bayo's been so bad of late, and I know he's got some good starts in him for the rest of the year. He'll probably spread them out, though, once a month. And this could be one of those cases where the baseball brain matters more than what's sharp, and trying to catch the falling knife with a good Bayo start that we have not seen in, 4 weeks, to be honest with you. At least 4 starts. It's been pretty brutal for the guy, so he can't even get out of the fucking 4th inning in the Big 2-5. It scares me a little bit. I know there's better pitching in there for Bayo, but, I mean, the total's at 7.5. You're not asking for a bazillion runs. Just 8.
Yeah.
Right? Milwaukee's red hot. Red Sox are struggling, so when they break through on offense, it's probably going to be for a double-digit runs or at least an 8 spot or something like that. So they might hit this over themselves.
Yeah, I mean the same goes for like Freddie Peralta too on the opposite side. When he blows up really badly. The command is not there. He gets in pitch count trouble by the 3rd, 4th inning, and put a lot of stress on the bullpen. It's not like the usual dominant Brewers bullpen. So I mean, we haven't really had one of those in a while for Freddie Peralta. Maybe you could say like a guard start he had a couple weeks where you go 4, but other than that, like he's been damn near ace level for them. Might get it now.
He's been good. Team Comeback is asking about the Guardians team total first 5 over 1.5. Team Comeback, we can talk about that one in a little bit. Actually, that's the next game up. Holy shit, perfect timing. You got Dodgers and Guards starting up here at 1:10 Eastern in about, 15 minutes. Kershaw has a 7.5 ERA, obviously a very small sample. I don't know how long this Allard guy is going to go, the lefty, but you think he gives the Guardians a chance here to maybe stop the bleeding and get a win?
I mean, on paper, should absolutely not. But we know the daytime Dodgers, especially when they're trying to close out a sweep, is on paper doesn't necessarily work with them. So I'll tell you, my baseball brain tells me the game's going to go a pretty similar way than it went yesterday. But I don't feel like going back to the well.
Yeah, I mean, Kershaw's got that 1.5 goblin earned runs allowed square after a shutout. So that's interesting. But I'm going to look at Allard squares if he even has any up.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be out there for incredibly long, I would think. Yeah, he's got no squares.
Yep. Okay. Is it weird seeing Kershaw catching steam like that, or are we just chalking that up to it being the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw?
No, to be honest with you, I mean, the steam up to where it is, I know it's an Allard bullpen game, but it's probably a little surprised, especially because, like, the last couple starts Kershaw's had, like, coming off of the injured list, like, he doesn't get nearly that much respect. It's almost like quite the opposite. He gets so much disrespect in terms of the number they get that it was almost really weird, especially against the Eagles. I think that line was really short when he first came back, and they ended up losing that game, but seems like a lot.
Oh, we got a hype train moving and grooving, folks, for 30 more seconds. Sure we can.
Let's go.
We got Flyer Faithful coming in here, dropping a resub. Are we locked in? Yes, sir, Flyer Faithful. Appreciate you coming in, dropping a resub. You're him. Roop in the month of May at 1.64 ERA. Wow. W Goots Nug and W Hype Train. Got 10 more seconds left of that puppy. There it goes. See you. Kiss it goodbye. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's weirder that the Dodgers didn't open up at this price or if it's weirder that they moved, 25 cents to this number. But I don't know if I want to get in the way of fading the Dodgers right now. I think I'll take my money from that over that we cashed on yesterday, W play, and run. But I certainly would lean the Guardians here to stop the bleeding after 3 straight L's. I just don't know if I could do it. And looking at some of Kershaw's squares up there on the boards, you can't really take his less than on some of the squares for him to do bad things. So like his earned runs allowed, you can't take the less than. Sometimes when I see that, I think, well, that guy might go out there and shove. So I'll probably stay off. And the under's getting more juicy. -115 to -120 to that under 9. Interesting. J-Ram's been on fire. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
if they're going to yesterday and get a hit still or no?
Yeah, I think he did. I'm pretty sure he kept it alive.
Okay.
But if the Guards offense is going to show up today, you better love J-Ram. So that's definitely is their best hope of some offense. He has to do something.
Yep. Might be their only hope. We got Sock Station coming in hot. It's Andy Pajes Day. I like his game. I don't know if I like him today because he's the most popular square on Prize Picks. Yeah. He's number one. Number 1 most popular square. Oh, now he's number 2. Okay, Shohei overtook him. His teammate, sure. Number 2 on the pop tab. Yep. For 5.5 hitter fantasy. Sure we can. WJJJ Quack. Hope you tailed the Muncie home run play. Hope you tailed the squad rocked. W Day last night, my man. Sure. Kershaw only pitched 2 innings last time out. Yeah, it's kind of a fake shutout. T. Carnes, good point there as well. Okay. All right. What about Athletics and Astros? That one starts up in, I don't know, an hour 10.
Yeah. Don't really want to catch falling knife.
Yeah.
I think it's probably still the Astros, to be honest with you.
Wow.
It's like, especially being the fact that, like, Lance needs a team to chase and just pretty much go up there with, like, no approach whatsoever, and he can feast off of that team. He hasn't really faced anybody like that in the first couple of starts he's had back. The A's right now look like that. Like, they are bad. No matter who they're mixing up, putting up at the top of the lineup, it's not pretty. So, like, I don't really expect much to be too different today. Maybe you get, like, a stray bomb from one of those guys at the top of the lineup, and that does it. But with Sevy on the bump against a increasingly patient lineup too, I don't really know what the A's are going to do.
Okay.
And yeah, whole feed is on Rooker. That never goes well.
Huh. Interesting. I was looking at some squares in this game. I thought it was interesting to see the Lance McCullers 14.5 pitching out square. It's a goblin when he has not sniffed that in his return yet. But I mean, obviously on paper, I guess it makes a little bit of sense with him getting ramped up. This will be his 5th start. You can expect him to stay in there a little bit longer, I guess. So it makes some baseball sense. But I mean, the guy's been terrible. He has a 7 ERA and he's up there for 14.5 outs. That could be a normal square, but it's a fucking goblin. I thought that was pretty weird. On the books, he's sitting at 15.5. The under's juicy, but still kind of weird. Kind of weird. It's also weird that they're only offering that goblin.
Just means he's going to throw 5, Krabs.
It's probably going 5 exactly.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, that's weird. And then Severino has that earned runs allowed square that I kind of like the more than on and kind of kept me off of wanting to back the Athletics today in this spot. He's been pretty good overall, honestly. And seeing that square up against the Astros at home, I know it's the Astros. They're kind of on fire right now, but total's not that high and it's dropping. And, you know, at home, under's pretty much print in Houston. So thought that was a little weird and probably not a great sign for the Athletics. Okay.
Yeah. I have no inkling of betting on the A's during this streak.
Okay.
So they're awful right now. They don't go I think they have this series. They go to play in Toronto, I think, right after, and then they come back home and they play somebody good after that before they play the Orioles. Once they play the Orioles, I'll be back in. I'll tell you, I will guarantee it. Have every over in that series on my card in Sacramento. But until then, I'm good.
Okay. Somebody in the YouTube chat was asking about the Giants on the ML. I'm not going to bet it, but I certainly lean that way. I certainly would lean that way. Lucky Johnson. Great name, great question. Sure he can. We got Ben Whitman in the chat as well. Bobby Witt hit run RBI. Is screaming Jovan's name with the Hunter Green matchup. Any thoughts on Bobby Witt get involved?
You know, if he was hitting a little better right now, that would be first on the card, just like that. He also looks like Corbin Carroll horrible at the plate. The difference is you're facing Hunter Green instead of Mike Burrows. So it's a little different. I still want to take it, obviously, because it makes all the sense in the world, especially for me. But I would be lying to you if I said I was excited about it. He looks lost, and so does the rest of that lineup right now.
Yeah. We'll see how Hunter Green does. Obviously rooting against him.
Yeah, this is not a start that I'm excited about watching. I'll tell you that. Saving that for, I think next time out is against the Brewers in Great American. A lot more excited for that. This one, don't get shut out, and I'm okay with it.
Okay. Tigers are 8-1 when Job starts. Unfortunately, in MLB, dead Larry Bird, those trends really don't mean shit. I mean, the Giants are 10-0 in games that whatever the fuck his name is, Robbie Ray has started in this season. And if you started fading that trend 4 games ago, you'd be homeless. Unfortunately, in baseball, you can't fade streaks and expect good results. So you got to think a little bit outside the box. You got to use your baseball brain a little bit more. It's not the NFL. You can't just bet lines, unfortunately. I wish we could.
They did just lose the last one. And then he started. So they were 8-0 at a point.
That's crazy. Skeens on the bump, rumors. We will get to that, yes? Sure. I want to get to that right now, to be honest with you. And then we'll hop in and talk about the Sharp report. But, I would love to talk about this Pitt and Arizona game real quick. It starts up in about 2.5 hours. I really want to take Arizona here after they collapsed last night and blew a 7-0 lead, 6-0 lead, something like that. They blew a crazy lead, gave up a bunch of unearned runs to the Pirates, one of the worst teams in baseball. And now we're seeing Arizona catching steam with a terrible pitcher on the bump in Zach Gallen in that 5 ERA up to -135 against Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens has been getting crazy line respect his entire MLB career, which is not long, but the only time the Pirates are ever favored are when Paul Skeens is on the bump, right? You do see the Pirates get line respect when he's out there. Thought it was kind of weird timing today. I know Arizona gets line respect too. more than their records, right? Sub 500. But thought that was kind of weird with Zach Gallen on the bump, and Arizona not only favorites, but catching steam as well. I know they're home. I know their offense is much better than the Pirates. I know their record is better, but I still thought that was kind of weird, especially after how last night unfolded. So seeing the Diamondbacks catch steam makes me want to hop on the train here and fade Paul Skeens. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what my gut would tell me too, looking at the game. You know what my one concern is, Krabs? This, like, on paper, especially like strikeout wise, is a tough matchup for Paul Skeens. That seems to be when he puts together his best starts, and it's not even remotely close. Like, just overall, like, best lineups that he's faced. Like, he had his best start of the season, I would say, was against the Phillies, where he went that near complete game, and if they were winning, he probably would have went the full 9 or at least tried. He had a lights out start where he shot off the Dodgers. Like, even strikeout wise, like, one of his better games was against, at the time, like, a hotter lineup in the Rays to start the season. Like, a lot of these matchups that seem a lot more difficult, he comes through and does better than the ones where he has a softball matchup. So I'm interested to see if the trend's going to continue tonight. It's the one thing that's making me not want to fade him.
I certainly want to fade his fantasy score, which was a hair lower than I expected. Although maybe it's Diamondbacks tax. I don't know. Maybe it's being on the road. I don't know. They're not going to make it much higher. But looking at the chart, I mean, I would have expected it to be 38.5. Pretty green as well.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. Best square for the early games, KP's asking. Do you have any squares you like in these early MLB games today?
I don't know that I punched any in. That I'm looking at.
I didn't love any.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind the Severino more than earned runs allowed, with a little McCullers more than pitching outs Goblin, but that doesn't start up till 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Dubs. Bright lights, Skeens. This must be John saying, okay. Yeah, we'll see. Slushy Slips thinks the Pirates win here. All right. We'll see. Are they going to get 2 in a row? They've won 3 of their last 5. This might be the hottest stretch for the Pirates this whole season.
Yeah, it might be the hottest in history.
All right. Yeah, Easy Puck, I kind of want to get involved. Not going to lie. TBD.
It's my one concern. That's like the overall sentiment I see today.
Arizona money line?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Anyone on the Giants? Nerfy. Yeah, I don't know, Turner Mac. I don't know how I feel about that under or that Nerfy. Kind of lead the Giants, but not going to bet that one in the early starts. All right. Why don't we swing it around? Let's talk about some sharp report plays. Let's get up our best straight bets. We'll talk about those puppies first. We got Goots busting O's tonight, looking at that Mikolas hits allowed chart. Ben, we'll talk about that square in a moment. Okay. W square. Yankees runs over a touchdown. Dead Larry Bird, I like that play as well, as you can see that up here on the screen. We'll start with Atlanta, though. Start with the Braves. I want to take them on the ML after they cost us coins last night. I want to get right back to them. I did not hear no bell. You got A.J. Smith-Shawver coming off of the worst game of his professional pitching career. You've got him coming off of getting destroyed by the Nats in pretty much his only bad start all season. I'll be honest. He's been pretty much fucking nails. But he was throwing BP in that last outing, Jovan. Absolute BP. Well, the Braves are facing debatably the best pitcher in baseball tonight. That's Zach Wheeler, who's been on absolute fuego this season. He's up there for Cy Young odds. He's got that 2.4 ERA. The guy's been an absolute menace, just backpacking his Phillies, rotation, although Lazard has been great too, but just carrying the Phillies in every game he starts in pretty much. Dude's been him. I would have thought we'd see a little bit more line respect. I would not have thought we'd see that weird earned runs allowed square for Zach Wheeler up there on Prize Picks either, which is juiced to the over as well. I would not have expected to see that Smith-Shawver earned runs allowed square that's up there on Prize Picks after he had his worst start of the season against the Nats, and he has a juicy less than earned runs allowed on the books as well. So everything is pointing towards the Braves, and maybe the right play here is just Braves first 5, but in a division game after getting embarrassed last night by the Phillies. This one simply means more for the Braves, who are reeling right now. I mean, they've lost 4 of their last 5. They need to start picking it up here, and I want to back their offense to go out there, do job. I'll trust their bullpen to hold on for dear life and keep this lead. But instead of going first 5 like I typically would here, I will go Braves full game in a divisional matchup. This one simply means more. And Smith Shawver coming off the worst start of his career. I want to get involved with him. Probably going out there and getting the win.
Sure. I'm in on that.
Harper took that nasty pitch to his surgically repaired elbow. Yeah. Hopefully he's okay. Did not look like he is, to be honest with you. I'm watching that game last night, but hopefully we see him back in the lineup soon, all bets aside, because that was kind of scary. Yep. And he should probably be wearing an elbow guard on the arm that he's already had problems with, but I digress. That's his choice. And yeah, he took one right to the fucking elbow bone last night. What can you do? What can you do? Yep. Krabs, do you have the Thunder winning tonight? No, I don't. I kind of like Minnesota, although OKC probably wins the game. I like Minnesota on the spread. So I would not be going around taking OKC, but I got to play like a little bit better. We'll come back to it here in a moment, Rowdy. I want to hear Jovan's first straight bet first.
Let's go back to Baltimore, Krabs.
Wow.
A little move down on the total because I guess the weather's not great there. Looks like, unless they're just super conservative with the game, going off Roth, says going to play. So trust him, but betting against the line move, that's there for that exact reason. Povich has been surprisingly lights out. One of like the, I guess, brighter spots in the pitching staff, especially as of late. When you play a Cardinals team that not only gets the ball in the air a ton, but they love to put the ball in play too. They're not striking out nearly as much, especially at the top of that lineup, and that includes like the lefties that are good lefty. I don't know how many of those you're going to see in the lineup today, but they really can put out whoever they want. It's a problem for Povich. So I think this is his worst start that he's going to have or have had in quite some time now. Cardinals are going to put up runs. Didn't want to leave the O's out of it because I do think they could score runs off of Michaelis. I've heard a million times about that. I don't know, the hits allowed squares and everything weird about him today. And I think he can give up a couple, and the bullpen kind of left everything out there for the Cards yesterday. So don't know exactly who's available. I think the Orioles can score some runs and make it competitive. And I think it'll be a close game come down stretch, but I don't think that's going to come without runs in this game. I think it's going to be another back and forth game where you see a lot of offense early. And I think the bullpen for the O's is going to be put in a pretty tough spot after Povich does not go very long because he's getting shelled.
Love this over. This is one of those totals where I was surprised to see where it opened up at 9 before it moved down to 8. Care more about that opening total number than I do about where it's at right now.
Yep.
A couple other comments. Guys, I appreciate you caring about the weather. I appreciate you guys trying to help out. Just please don't.
Yeah.
Just please don't, because
every time we say a game's going to rain out and the chatter not happen, it happens every single time. So
let's leave the
success
weather
rate
to
isn't
meteorologists, right? And let's talk about the game.
Can
Any
only
sort of
do
comments or questions
so
about
much
the game
about it.
are more than welcome. Okay? More than welcome. We cannot predict the weather. Okay, we'll leave the weather to Goots. Sure we can.
Yes. So we have
Goots
Goots
pretty sharp with the weather. He's pretty sharp about it. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Only games that rain out are the ones we don't talk about. Yeah, honestly,
100% every time.
Sure. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Swing it back around, Goots. I want to talk about my under in the association. Okay. Got Minnesota OKC under 220.5. A lot of overs so far in this series. I think there's only been one under, and it was in game 2, I believe. Yeah. Every other game in the series has gone over. So I would have thought we'd start seeing the total moving up a little bit higher after 3 straight overs. We saw 218, 217, 219.5. So sure, overall it's moving up, and today it's 220.5. Great, it's a whole fucking point higher, but it doesn't seem high enough after 3 straight overs. And knowing Minnesota here with their backs against the wall, I love backing unders in games with teams with their backs against the wall in elimination spots. I don't care if it's the ice. I don't care if it's the hardwoods. I like betting unders in these games. I think Minnesota's defense shines tonight on the roads, and they hold OKC. They leave it all out there on the fields. They hold OKC to sub 100 points or at least sub 110 points, and we are in business if that's the case. I think they keep their season alive here potentially and could win on the ML. I like Minnesota on the spread as well, but I'll just go with the no fun, nasty under. Everybody's betting the over in this game after 3 straight overs and only 1 under in this series. While I've seen this movie before in the postseason, I will fade points. I'll fade fun. I'll back the splits and the sharp play and back the under in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think in terms of the Wolves, they were pretty in between with how they wanted to guard SGA, and that hurt them a lot because, I mean, he took 30 shots. He wasn't super efficient, but they're, I don't know, going under on every screen, letting him be like one-on-one aggressive with defenders that couldn't guard him, and then they were stuck in between of whether they wanted to help and whether they wanted to, I don't know, stay out on the shooters, and it killed them at the end of the game. Like, the offense was fine, but defensively they were in a blender. They're probably going to figure that out tonight.
Yeah. I hope their defense shows up tonight, man. They got to fucking help out and do something. That's been their bread and butter all season for Minnesota. But it's been costing them in this series. They certainly have not been able to really figure it out. They just gave up 128 in that last game. Brutal loss. Miracle cover. We got lucky as hell. But yeah, let's back. No fun under in this game. I mean, when you got guys like Chet out there up and moving, trying to put the ball in the hoop, we've got a chance. The way Ant's been shooting as well, he has not been elite. And some of the other squares for some goats up there make me feel like we might not be getting a splooge fest with points. We might not be getting Nickeil Alexander-Walker dropping another 20 piece. By the way, he's fucking goated. He's him. Dude's an absolute beast. Playing against his brother in this series. Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off a 23 piece. I believe he was the most popular square on Prize Picks in the NBA tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it was earlier today.
Busting, dude. I don't know who he was feeling like last game, but he was taking some absurd shots.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's because he's playing against his fucking cousin, dude. He's playing against Shy. They grew up together. He's got confidence, and he's got plenty of aura. And he's got a degree from Virginia Tech. Those are 3 good things.
There you go. Let's wait and see how long it was going to take you to sneak in the Hokies.
Sure. God, they took off his normal point square that was extremely popular earlier today. They took it off. It's probably because it's moving around so much. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get that cute and try to fade Null the way he's been playing. Dude has been him.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that he is a Hokie.
Yeah. Has nothing to do with him being a Hokie whatsoever. He's actually a Krabs guy, though. He is.
Krabs guy. Wow, rare.
He's a Krabs guy, yes. And that might be because he's a Hokie.
Yeah, that's 100% because he's a Hokie. Has to be.
Yep, it is. Cash the Hokie mentioned minus 1250. Sure he can, Canadian Goots. We got Ron Mux in the chat. There's only one person, I think, on Earth who's more excited than me about the PLL starting up this weekend, and that's Ron Mux. That's Ron Mux.
Ron Muckington.
Rumor has it we got Ron Mux firing up a Spaces tonight, going over the PLL for this weekend. I think these rumors are true. Ron, please confirm them in the Twitch chats, because I will be there. I believe he said 5 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Eastern. What are the guidelines of a Krabs guy? Plays hard, typically has some sort of relation to either Virginia Tech or the D.C. area. That's it. Those are the only qualifications. Okay.
Insane qualifications.
Quick question. Are you guys cooking up a PLL season-long lineup on Prize Picks? We're going to have to, OG Sour. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even
Krabs,
know how quick up I was.
I need you to give me one square, and I'm pairing it with the Anthony Edwards free square too. Need one of those. Gets people so mad on Twitter.
Why don't we craft up a lineup on stream tomorrow? I need to look at the board because I really have not labbed it. I don't want to give you cake.
Sure.
You can take Goots' square and just go with the guy on the whip snakes.
Sure, down. Down.
W Ron, we will be there tonight. W Spaces. Excited for that one. Okay. We will be there. WLMNG. Sure. People forget I'm a 2-time PLL champ. Yes, they do forget that, Goots, actually. They certainly forget that.
Okay.
All right. TJ fucking. Sure. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I want to see Jovan's second straight bet. Oh, he's taking us to the ice. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
The Panthers trying to close this one out on the road, which I want to take this over which the obvious, I guess, crutch part of it, like we talk about all the time when teams are in elimination spots, even if it's like a tight, low scoring game to the point of the end of the game, if they're down, they're going to pull super early. So that's great and all. But I think the part that kind of tips it over is the fact that I saw this exact same situation play out when the Panthers were up 3-1 and had a chance to close the series against the Lightning in the first round. And I kind of expected the same thing to happen there, but they kind of take it a little solace and try to close it out on the road. They're like, they want to be the big bad team that gets the win on the road and punches you in the face doing it, especially being the last game. Frankly, they're just resting guys, and they're going to bring them all back today with a chance to close the series out. And abysmal offensively is what they were throughout that game, but it was a game that the pressure wasn't really on. The Canes were fine defensively. They weren't everything like super over the top. It was just the Panthers never really had much of an attack there. Low scoring game, 3-0. Lower than that because empty nets were involved, but there was nothing really there. Now, when the Panthers are on the road, getting guys back, and you're going to be super aggressive, just like you were against the Lightning in that closeout situation, I think you're going to see a little more early offense from them. I think you're going to be aggressive and try to be the one that puts the other team on their back heels, which, again, they want defensively to lock in. They want to be in that situation where you're going to have to be aggressive against them, which not only puts the Canes in an uncomfortable spot, but leaves them very exposed at the back end. And every time you've seen them do that, even in the playoffs, it has not ended well for them defensively. So I think you're going to get a more exciting, I think, first period than we've had in really the entirety of this series. And when you have the over 5.5 in a game that I think is going to be close down to the wire, and I do think the Panthers are probably going to win, there we go. We're going to get some goals late, probably empty nets to carry this over. Wow, J-Ram him.
Yeah, what is J-Ram doing? Is he carrying the weight? Is he doing yob?
Double rumors.
Ooh.
Nope.
Nice little double for J-Ram. They're challenging it?
Some challenge.
Okay. Sure we can.
White Sox also busting.
Looks like we got a lot of foot traffic on the bases in these early games today. Okay.
Bases loaded for Trevor Story against Peralta.
We got
sure the email platter. He's not bad or anything.
We got bases cocked with 2 outs. Yep. Sure we can. Any prize picks today? Yes, sir, Lil Bill. We'll get to those here in a moment. Stick with us. Okay. Yeah, we got 2 runs early from the White Sox against Griffin Canyon. Holy shit. Should have taken that more than 1.5 earned runs allowed square. That was actually the freest square of maybe the entire season, maybe in MLB history. To be honest with you. That literally cashed in the first 3 batters of that game. Okay. Wish I took that one, but I did not. Great. And we got the Guardians scoring. Okay.
Looks like
wow.
J-Ram
I did not know there was a run scored
though.
on that. Sure. What's up, Jonesy? Sure we can. Good to see you lurking in the chat.
Jolly
say out in a second. Shit. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I want to talk a little bit about this last straight bet, I believe. Let's go ahead and flip it around, Gootsy. Yankees team total over 4.5. I can't resist. I was between this and Arizona, and every time I put a play in here that starts before 5 p.m. Eastern, it never hits, never has, never will. Don't know why. Not going to ask questions. Just going to move on and get better and not, force cake that never fucking hits. So that would be the Arizona Diamondbacks today, and I really wanted to take them, but I'm going to be smarter, better, bigger, faster, and stronger for the rest of the big 2-5 here, and I'm not going to force cake just because I like an early play. Instead, I'll go with a late night play for a team that I absolutely fucking hate. I hate their guts. I hate their captain. I hate their coach. I hate their ownership. I hate their execs. I hate everything about them. Everything about this team and everything they stand for. But tonight, we're betting them to score 5+ runs. Not asking for the world. They're facing the Angels, who are terrible. Kikuchi's got that 2.5 run square that we're going to talk about here in a moment. And then they get to face that bullpen. It might be the worst bullpen of all time.
Really bad.
I'm excited to bet on the Yankees tonight, and I've already seen it. Judge probably hits a nuke. Who knows? I certainly won't be taking that, Phils, at more than fantasy score, but it's probably a pretty good look today. It probably is. After a couple quiet nights for Judge, he probably activates tonight. And I would have went full game over, but a little bit worried about Clark Schmidt and some of those squares that are up for him, making it seem like he might be primed to ground tonight, plain and simple. So I'll go ahead and stay off of the full game over, although I do like it. And I'll just back the Yankees to score 5 runs tonight, something they haven't done since they've left Coors Field. Interesting.
No.
Actually, they did do it in the first game of the series when they won 5-1.
Yeah, they did squeak.
Excuse me. They did squeak 5 runs then. Yep. But give me the Yankees. Give me their bats. Love backing team totals for teams on the road. Pretty much the only time I'll do that on the diamond is for a road team. And I think today has a perfect matchup against Kikuchi. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a moment when we get to the squares. Okay?
Sure.
Dubs. You got one more straight bet for the peeps, I believe.
I do. I'll take the Jays tonight against the quite literally luckiest pitcher in baseball so far this year, and Tyler Mahle. He's been unbelievable, and he's been very fortunate. And I think the perfect time for that to come to a little bit of a head is against a lineup that does not strike out and is incredibly patient, which the Jays lineup is right now. And especially when you're coming off a game with no runs last night, not only just from the Jays, but just in general context of the game. That game was awful, just horrible watch and no runs. But now I think you're going to get some runs today, and I think a lot of them are going to come from the Jays against Tyler Mahle, which he's been lights out against a lot of righties all year. But again, he's been very fortunate in that. If you look at some of his contact numbers, and I think this team that puts the ball into play plenty is going to have something to say about that. But I also just think on the other side, like the Rangers as a lineup, they're going to roll out. The Jays are like a bullpen piggyback type game. I think like Schultz is going to open and go for however long, and then like Lauer is going to come in, and Lauer didn't look great. That was the game I went to against the Rays. He's like I don't know, Seek's right-handed barrels. So like Wyatt Langford, I'm a little worried about, but really everybody else, and like the potential return of Seager tonight in this lineup is also something I want to fade. I don't really see this lineup as being like the team that has any sort of approach right now against a bullpen game or anything of that sort, especially when like the arms that they're going to throw are so vastly different. And the Rangers have also just been pitiful against lefties all year. You're going to see Lauer for God knows how long. I think he threw for 5 against the Rays, and I could see easily him coming in, piggybacking and going for 4 or 5 today. So I don't think it's a great spot for that lineup either, whether you get Seager back or not. So I want the Jays today. And I think that move, especially with like Seager potentially coming back, and I don't know if like the starter change announcement had something to do with the steam. It doesn't really make much sense if it does, but the whole like 20, 25 cents is odd.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I do think it's weird seeing a line down from plus 135-ish that I saw last night down to like plus 115, plus 110. That's a pretty big move. I'm with you. I like Toronto. It scares me a little bit fading Mahle. If this was any other sport, fading the luckiest guy, I'd already be saying I'm in. I'd already have the fucking bet placed. And some of his squares make it seem like he might have a bounce back start against the White Sox, but maybe the squares are that high because the dude's been the luckiest pitcher in baseball. So yeah, I'm down to back Toronto. I trust you, and I like the steam, certainly for Toronto, and I like backing them off that loss last night. They've actually lost 4 of their last 5 games, and it's been the Rangers who are starting to get going. But, I mean, Jovan, we might have been wrong about this team preseason. They might not be him, this Rangers team. They might not be in for a bounce-back season. They look dead. Bad. Their bats look atrocious. And how much longer can these veteran arms keep their sub-2 ERAs? I don't think much longer. I like the play. I do. It scares me fading Mahle, but I do like the play, and I certainly like Toronto catching steam, and I like the spot after last night. So, yeah,
catching this much steam with Seager back is wild. I assume he's going to be in the lineup. They designated it for him to come back today. This thing's going to come back Wednesday. We'll see if he actually gets put in the lineup, but I assume he will. The fact they're catching steam with the bullpen game with that involved is wild. What in the world did Goots is dropping, Chad?
He's just not dialed in whatsoever.
Man, it's a Lamar picture from the Ravens Twitter. Dude, yeah. When is he going to lock in?
Could be pulling up Prize Picks, showing Mahle. Could be pulling up Pickett Pro, showing the people the splits in this game. No, he's dropping Lamar tweets in the chat. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Just
what are we doing?
Unbelievable.
Gootsy, if you got some time, swing it around. We'd love to talk about some Prize Pick squares. I don't want to get in the way of you sending in any Ravens tweets, though. Take your time. Okay? Shouldn't even give Goots this fucking square, this credit here. Backing the Orioles bats. But hey, you're taking the over in this game, too. So I guess that's a good thing. But Miles Mikolas, more than 5.5 hits allowed against the measly O's. Super weird square. I don't love the way you're talking about it, making it seem like it's a Twitter POD, but I'll trust.
Nah,
Those
that's
bats will be
more.
flat late.
It was more talk from the chat. They're just bringing it up because they know.
Okay. One of the weirder squares I've seen all week on Prize Picks is Mikolas Square. He's been great. He's been great of late. It seems like he's kind of found his groove again in the big 2-5, but how long will that last? Looking at the fucking squares for him today, probably not very long. He's got a weird earned run square. He's got a super duper weird hits allowed square. The guy hasn't given up anywhere near this amount of hits in his last couple starts. Super red charts. I got to get involved. Orioles bats at home. We know they like leaving guys on base. So we're not really leaning into that angle, right? They love leaving guys on base, especially if they're in scoring position, Jovan. But today we just got to take them to put people on base. And that's what the Orioles have had no trouble really doing all season, to be honest with you. It's been bringing the guys home that causes issues. So instead of going with that earned runs allowed square, I'll go with his more than 5.5 hits allowed. Very, very excited for the square. Back in the O's bats.
Sure.
Krabs, if you were the Rangers, what would you do? Rowdy, if I was the Rangers, I would probably make a statement move and send Adolis Garcia down to the minors. Wake up call. Try to get the rest of that young core going a little bit because he just seems like he doesn't give two shits out there in the batter's box. Strikes out, walks back like he knew it was coming. He looks like he could not be more checked out, to be honest with you. I'd probably send him down to the minors for a quick trip. Quick 10 days. Little CJ Abrams wake-up call. Maybe he's spending too much time in the casino. Who knows? These guys are people too, right? That's probably what I would do. It worked for Jake Berger as well. They sent him down, called him up. Next thing you know, he's Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Hits a home run every game. What's the Ratitude book club of the week? Yeah, well, we know that Mitchell Parker's involved in the book club because he's certainly not working on his command.
Really bad, Krabs. Really bad.
I mean, imagine throwing pitches that you could literally place on a tee for these guys. Throwing pitches right down the middle of the zone and expecting good results. What the fuck are we doing, Mitchell Parker? Have a sense of where that ball's going. Have an idea. He has no fucking clue.
Just awful.
No clue. Oh, he's lucky my guy DJ Er's arm exploded, or else DJ would be taking his fucking spot already. Oh, was so excited for that game last night. So excited. Sat there silently for 3 hours.
Hey, James Woodnuke, though.
Yeah, and like all of our losses, that was about it.
Yeah.
CJ's cold. Yeah. Literally a Chris Paul nuke. Cuts the lead to fucking 7. Incredible. He is incredible, though. My goodness. Hitting the ball like that in Seattle. Dude, he's Shohei. There's no other way to put it. He is Shohei Ohtani. He is Shohei Ohtani. Do you do anything with Simeon, Rowdy? I don't think you can because you know that guy is not. It's not an effort thing. He's just sucking.
You're also just giving him too much money.
Yeah, you're paying him an absolute bag. So you can't really send him down or bench him. You kind of got to play him, and I think Simeon will pick it back up. He might not be the same guy he was a couple of years ago, but he'll pick it back up here. Can't get worse, in my opinion, for him. But we might need to calm down the Nats glazing. Yeah, we might need to, BI. We might need to a little bit. Might need to hold the line a little bit for the Nats glazing.
Hold the attitude just a little bit.
Hold the attitudes for the next couple of weeks because that team, they are struggling. Yep. All right. Let me talk about Kikuchi here for a second, and we'll swing around to your squares here, Jovan. Kikuchi has a crazy-looking earned runs allowed square, and like chat's been saying, Kikuchi's been nails. He's been dialed. As we get a sub bank coming in from R3TR, coming in hot, resubbing with Prime. Make sure you guys use your Prime subbies. You get one free one per month. One free subby per month. Cash in that puppy. Okay? Long John Silver's GOAT. Nope. Pretty flirty. We don't need to be going down that path right now. Okay? Kikuchi has a crazy-looking chart. If you peep it, you might be more inclined to take this as well. It goes hand in hand. The perfect complement. Like a nice Pinot Noir with some cheddar cheese. Kikuchi more than 2.5 earned runs allowed with the Yankees team total. These go hand in hand. Perfect square to go with that team total over. Kikuchi's getting mucked up today. He's been great overall. He's starting to look like that guy they brought in to be the number one pitcher for the Angels. How long does that last, Jovan? Probably not much longer. He's facing a lineup that's seen him a ton when he was in Toronto. They've had great success against him as well. I think they put up a bunch of runs against Kikuchi today, who's been unbelievable over the last couple weeks. I want to fade Kikuchi today, who has a juicy more than earned runs allowed on Prize Picks. On the books, minus 130 to the over.
Need that. Finally be the game where the Yankees just splooge.
Yep. Malik, I'm picking green squares, man. I don't know what you want me to do. Unless you're tracking the other sides. I'm pretty sure I've been green with all these MLB squares all season. They've been smacking left and right. If you're tracking the other side, let me know. But I'm giving out green squares. That's all I'm doing, man. Keeping the blinders on, giving out green squares. And this is one of them. Kikuchi, more than earned runs allowed.
Sure.
And Miles Mikolas, more than hits allowed. Let's flip it around to Jovan squares, see what he's crafting up on a Wednesday afternoon. Sure he can.
Yeah, I'll keep you on the cards. I don't go to the hitter side because the O's are playing. So got to take a hitter against them, especially when I think they're going to contribute quite a few runs to the over against Cade Povich. Taking Ivan Herrera, which I've started to pick up on some things, I guess, with the fact that the fantasy scores are now up for pretty much the entirety of the lineup. It's give and take. So like the take is, I guess, that you're able to see when different guys move and like what is considered high for them when it's guys that are not usually up there for it, like in prior weeks. But now that you're up, the guy that I think is most out of place in this lineup is Ivan Herrera in terms of the number we see up there. And I think it makes sense too, because he's there hitting 400, smaller sample size, but like so far he's hitting 400 this year against lefties. The same has been true his entire career. He's like the most pure lefty hitter they have in this entire lineup. He's just been absolutely raking them this season and even like some of last season too, which is why he kept himself up in the big leagues for a while. But now you get Cade Povich, who fills up the strike zone. He doesn't have overpowering strikeout stuff, which is great for Herrera, even though he's not like a strikeout machine himself. But I think he's the best matchup, especially with how much he gets the ball in the air. So I think he's going to be the one to muck platter for this lineup today. And I don't really know where he's going to be slotted in because they could choose to keep some of the lefties like Newbar, and I don't know if Donovan's going to be healthy enough to play, but like the lefty reverse split hitters like up there at the top of the lineup, and that'll be fine. They can set the platter. Maybe they'll put him a little higher, and that'll be perfectly fine. But I think whichever way you slice it, he's going to be involved in pretty much anything today. And then I want to take you to Lou Dort, which is supposed to be points at 7.5. But Lou Dort, I think, like we were talking about this game in terms of the under, I agree with you. And I think a lot of that is going to be because the T-Wolves are not – they tried to do like the adjustment where I guess they make you go one-on-one or make SGA go one-on-one. And he shot 13 of 30. I mean, he had 40 points. A lot of that was very obviously at the free throw line, like always. But I think this game, now they're going to fully commit to taking the ball out of his hands, which puts a lot of pressure on the shooters, which Lou Dort is probably not the primary shooter that comes into your mind when thinking of this. You think of more like the two guard guys that they've had like in pure rotation, like the Isaiah Joes, just like saw an uptick in minutes to hit a three. Like Aaron Wiggins is out there sometimes, like even like the J-Dubs of the world. Chet has been taking a bigger offensive hold as of late. So like I think all of the 3-point shooters are going to see an uptick, just like they did for a little bit last game. I think it's going to be double in this game. And look at old Lou Dort, who is the number one, I think, like normal square on the pop tab. And what do you know? The same pattern that's been really profitable throughout the whole playoffs. He has a weird field goals made square. That's on the board at 2.5. And I think if you're Lou Dort, I don't think he's going to get many of his points driving or in transition. I think he's going to have to get these catch and shoot guys from SGA after he's getting doubled, after he's getting really hard pressure from the paint to keep him outside of it, which is what they did for part of, the last game. But once they stopped fully committing that's when he got to the free throw line and shot 1 billion free throws and got his 40th point of the game. I think now you have no chance but to sell out in that regard. And I think if you're the T-Wolves in this game, you're going to say, okay, Lou Dort's been cold for pretty much the entirety of the series. Let's make him beat us, or let's make the other shooters beat us. And I think Lou Dort being in that situation is great. So I will gladly take my chances that he'll do it.
Lou Dort, more than 7.5 points. Sure we can. I did drop the link to the Sharp Report 4-man as well in the Twitch chat. And I will drop it again for the people in the back if you did not see it. Sharp Report 4-man. Coming in hot. And there it is. Boom. Get involved. I certainly like the Herrera square as well. More than a 5.5 fantasy score. I was looking at his hits allowed square too. Good sign that that's up as well after a couple bad games. Sure. All right. W squares. Chat, if you guys want to tail the Sharp Report 4-man, the link is in the Twitch chat. Okay. Flyer Faithful said, what about Caruso? We could talk about this game for a little bit in the association. I wouldn't mind a little Caruso talk. I'm looking at the popular charts, or the popular category here. I'm seeing Caruso involved early and often. People are taking his more than 5.5 rebounds and assists, or maybe they're taking the less than.
Yeah, I think the less than. I've seen his under assist at like 2.5 everywhere on the feed.
So yeah, I go more than for his rebounds and assists, 5.5 combo. If you want to take a less than for Caruso, I'd go as less than points, which were more popular earlier today. That was at the top of the pop tab. Now that there's been more lineups placed, though, I guess it's fallen down below, but it's still on the pop tab category. Alex Caruso, 8.5 points. Would not mind the less than on that square.
Yeah.
Looks like my guy, Nikhil Alexander Walker, took a little stroll down the board. Oh, he's back up there, actually. Second most popular square in the association. 9.5 points. They put his normal square back up there. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Not a great sign for my guy, Null. But hey, he might be, I don't even know what to call it, sharp proof. It might not even be sharp fading him against his cousin. This one might simply mean more.
I just think last game, I mean, he was everywhere on the feed and very popular, and specced with ease. He had 23, and the line hasn't moved all that much. I feel like you might have gotten your sharp proof game out of the way.
Yeah. A 23 piece. How about it for the guy? What a fucking beast. Dude's tweaking. And he's still only set at 9.5 points. Not a great sign. Not a great sign. All right. Any other comments, thoughts, concerns, bets, prize pick squares that you like in the NBA game tonight, Minnesota versus OKC?
Not too much. Like, I want to take a lot of the Thunder role players. It's just, I don't know if I want to overextend myself too much because a lot of them are green. And the one of them that isn't very obviously is Lou Dort. So I'm getting involved there.
Nats and Mariners thoughts? Oh, boy.
Thoughts there, Krabs?
Well, you got Trevor Williams in that 6 ERA, and you got George Kirby in that 12 ERA. We know one of those 2 ERAs is not going to stay that high, and it's obviously the latter. Trevor Williams might just suck. So he might just be bad at baseball, and there might not be anything to do about it. It might just be a Patrick Corbin type sitch. Or he goes out there, throws 89, and thinks he's him, and then gets absolutely touched up every single fucking start he makes, no matter what his squares show. So, is it weird seeing the Trevor Williams fantasy square up to 20? Yeah, it is pretty weird. I'm not going to lie to you. It's weird. Number one, I would have thought it wouldn't be up. Number two, I would have thought it'd be in the teens, to be honest with you. It's weird. But, hey, maybe it helps that they're in a pitcher's park. The total's at 8 in this game. It's not like they're expecting a bazillion runs, but
no, total moving down as much as it is. It's really weird, I would say.
I agree.
But I do think Kirby's probably throwing an absolute gem. It's just a question of how many runs are the Mariners going to score.
Yeah, Kirby might shove. Doesn't have a ton of squares up, but he might go out there and do yop. You can't even take the less than on his earned runs if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's that easy, maybe we just put in Mariners ML 2 units in the squad ride, Paul.
No, you don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, it's probably cake. All right. Hunter Green getting mucked, Z Shrek is asking. Well,
no.
I don't know if he's getting mucked up today.
Royals are just bad. Really bad.
Yeah, they might be bad. They might
It's
actually
like
be bad.
I would feel so much better if, again, like Bobby Witt was not seeing marbles at the plate right now, but
yeah.
he is. So, like, if I don't have confidence in Bobby Witt, I don't have confidence in anybody in the Royals lineup, really. And I still think Bobby Witt can be fine and get his, but beyond that, like, Vinny P's been red hot, but it's a pretty high strikeout pitcher. No confidence. So, I mean, I'd be shocked if Hunter Green gives up more than a run today, but obviously I'd be rooting for it.
Back to Malik said the Royals are literally the Rockies. I mean, yeah, they're not good.
Not good at all.
The
It's
Royals
especially
party,
the
I
fact,
think,
like,
is over. Yep.
especially the fact that, like, Hunter Green, like, you got to hit nukes off of him, which is kind of the entire point. You got to hit nukes off of him to be any sort of successful and score runs, which is great when you're playing a Great American, which I would frankly rather have him playing in Great American against the White Sox than in Kauffman against the Royals. Because that park is, I mean, the least home run hitter happy park in the league. And the weather's not great either. So it's kind of a disaster situation.
Yeah, not looking too good. Things are not looking up for the Royals, but who knows? This dude Cameron's been nails, although he doesn't pitch very long, but he's been nails.
He's been lights out since he came up. He's been goated.
I'm also seeing that Tyon Grant Foster is going to Gonzaga.
No way.
Yeah. He somehow has more eligibility. He is my age.
You know, I think I don't think he's good, Krabs, to be honest with you.
Well, he's a good college ball player. He's not going to be, windmill dunking, scoring 20 points a game in the league. But
I don't know if he's that much of one either, to be honest with you. I think he's going to end up like a poor man's Khalif Battle for them. Just never really work out like that.
Yeah, what could have been if Khalif Battle played like he did at the end of the season, in the beginning of the season? It was fun watching him play the handful of games he showed up, but, I mean, the other ones were atrocious.
I feel like the Zags just can never operate with a guard that can't shoot.
Yeah.
It's never worked.
No way you played JUCO with him, Adol. I might need to see the Carfax on that. That's a crazy connection if that's true. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I want to look at some of these other games on the diamonds. Make sure we talk about all these puppies. Give you guys plenty of ammo for tonight. Okay. Guy was a dog at Indian Hills. Ooh. Is that where you went? All right, Madul. Let's lock in, talk about some of these other games on the diamonds. We got Miami, San Diego. We hinted at it earlier. Talking about the Marlins, talking about the Padres, talking about Sandy Alcantara and some of his crazy squares up there. I am past the point of wanting to back him to do well. I think he might just suck. I think at this point, the squares that are up are just bait. So I will not be taking any more than good squares for Sandy Alcantara. I'm down to fade him if you guys want, but will not be taking the bait anymore with Sandy Alcantara or his 8 ERA. Honestly, I kind of like the over in this game again. Even after last night, we saw a bazillion runs. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them again, considering the Marlins' atrocious bullpen. Just a terrible bullpen. Maybe the worst ever made. You got the worst starting pitcher ever. And then on the other side, you got Kevin Hart on the bump up there for the Padres. He's not good, respectfully. He's a KBO guy, and he's just not good. And the Padres bullpen's good, but again, the damage might already be done early on in that game against Hart. So could be square. I don't care. I like the over 9 in the Marlins and Padres game that opened up at 8.5. I like the over. I like runs, and it's still an over, a total at 9 in San Diego, which is insane. You don't see totals at 9 very often in San Diego. To be honest, you could probably count on one hand the amount of times you're going to see totals at 9 in San Diego this season. So that's crazy, right?
Exactly what I was going to say. The fact that, like, Sandy's squares are weird every game, and, like, the time that I would buy into it is probably not when the total's moving up to 9 in Petco.
Right.
with them as, dogs, fat dogs against Kyle Hart, as they should be. But like, I don't know. It's not quite lining up. I will say maybe this is the game. I know they ended up getting, pretty helped by what the Marlins did in the field and ended up winning the game. But Marlins put up, I think, 6 in the first yesterday. This is probably the game where the Padres come out and punch them in the face a little early and flip that script. And that's where probably the early runs come from.
6 runs in the first and you lose the game.
It's actually insane. It's because Ronnie Simon had 4 errors in the field and he was crying and walking off.
Super weird.
If he's in the lineup,
don't see that very often, but
his HRR as well. Trent, life on play, POD, or life online POD in chat. No, under points.
For some reason, Trent's butthurt that I've never taken an OKC or an OKC square when he literally said on stream the other day that he refuses to take any Krabs plays. What am I supposed to do? Take the squares fucking plays on Earth every day? I would lose my mind. Just like Trent would lose his mind if he had to take Nickeil Alexander-Walker every day.
Well, they're playing the Thunder Krabs. So he's with you because he wants to actually fade now.
Don't be fade my Hokies, Trent. Although, honestly, you could fade him because he might drop another 23-piece. Who knows? Right? That could be the difference. All jokes aside, if that guy wasn't a Virginia Tech Hokie, I'd probably have his less than points in a lineup as well because that is a crazy-looking square. Crazy-looking square. It's absurd.
Really bad.
Poor Nickeil, who just keeps showing up. He's been doing this. I feel like it's been the Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming out party for the last 4 years. I feel like he goes on a streak where he has a crazy hot week where he's just the guy. Maybe it's against the Thunder as well. I feel like we've seen this movie before. He just still gets no respect. He's like the all-time glue guy, bench guy, role player. All time. I don't want to fade him. He's a Krabs guy. Come on. Bad things happen if I take
really
that.
Bad things.
Bad things happen. Maybe a career high for the guy. All right. I wanted to ask you one more time, Pirates and Diamondbacks, you want to stay off? Was kind of the vibes?
I do. I would love to just square up, I guess, here and back Gallon. It's just I'm getting a bad feeling after seeing it so many times today. And it being the Skeen start against the lineup that he should have trouble against, but has not had trouble against so far this season. It's just whenever it makes sense for Skeen to dominate, he doesn't, at least strikeout wise. And whenever it doesn't make sense, that's when he comes out and he sigh. Doesn't make sense for him to do it today, which is, I guess, is why a lot of people are going to be on the D-backs with the bounce back narrative too after yesterday. Just don't want to pay to find out.
I kind of do, but I'm scared. And it reminds me a little bit of the Padres day game cake from last week when everybody and their mother, sharps and squares, they united, they collabed, they all took the fucking Padres during the day. It was the day where I don't think you were on BTL actually, and we had LC on, and she gave us Jackson Merrill run, and it actually that cashed the more than W square, but that was about it because the Padres ended up melting and blowing that game. It gives me the same vibes. Everybody on Earth, all 8 billion people, sharps and squares, they unite, they collab, and that's typically cake 9 times out of 10. So maybe it's better to stay off in the big 2-5 plays like that. I think I'm talking myself into staying off.
Sure.
But man, I want to fade Paul Skeens at plus 115, bro. After how the Diamondbacks blew that game last night.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. It might be too easy, right? All 8 billion people are taking it, so it's got to be pretty easy on the surface.
It seems that way, but I'll be rooting for him.
Yep. All right. Some late night Geysermans. I'm going to ask you about Colorado and Chicago. You got Gordon on the bump. You got Boyd on the bump. You got a total of 8.
Horrid game, Krabs. Really bad.
Is this another weather game here?
I believe so.
Yeah, it has to be with these pitchers in that low total. Has to be.
Yeah.
Probably another under, to be honest with you.
Probably is. Cubs should muck.
Yep.
Classic story with the Rockies. I haven't really mucked them this series yet, to be honest with you. It's been 3-1 and 4-3, which, again, probably has something to do with the weather. maybe this is the weather breaking game where they actually come out and muck them.
It could be. Yeah, I'm not going to bet that under. I'll take my coins from the last couple of days and run. You want to take Toronto on the ML? Sure we can.
Yep, did that.
Yankees team total late night. What are your thoughts on Yankees and Angels?
No, I'm with you. Angels are starting to, like, I know they're playing the Yankees, but they're starting to fall into that trap where they went on their little run and now they're back down to earth, especially like offensively. They're not doing a single thing. So I think this is the time where you continue to fade them for the next handful of weeks because they're turning back into the Angels.
Yep. Turner Mac, I do like that Boyd more than fantasy. He seems to be just one of those pitchers of destiny so far this season. So if you want to back him coming off an atrocious outing against the Rockies tonight, I'm certainly not going to tell you otherwise. Okay? Probably a pretty good look. Taking us more than fantasy. All right. Let's take a peep at some of our favorite plays for today and see if we can craft up another squad ride W. Gootsy, if you don't mind, run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. All right, chat. W squad ride yesterday, but again, nothing to write home about. Still a lot of work to do. Got to cash one again tonight. All right, let's stay hot. After a squad ride W yesterday, let's run that shit back. I'm looking at some of our favorite plays for today, some of our best options. You get an over on the ice, which I just automatically hate, but it's probably great.
Yeah.
You got the Blue Jays ML, which I certainly like. Certainly like fading Maley. Luckiest pitcher in baseball. Why would I have any qualms with the Blue Jays on the ML? I really shouldn't. I like that play. That one's something we could put in here potentially. I like the over in the Cardinals and Orioles game. It's still an over. It still scares me a little bit, and we did cash it over last night. But I like runs in that game a ton, and we even talked about that on the call before the show, that it was pretty weird seeing that total opening up at 9 last night. I think we get runs in that game. I obviously like fading Nicholas. My gut's telling me, don't be soft. Take the best play avail there, and it's the over in that Orioles and Cardinals game. And don't overthink it or keep it out just because it involves the S.
Sure.
That's what my gut's telling me.
Listen to the guts. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay. You seen a lot of Braves ML around?
No, definitely not.
Who the hell wants to take them against Zach Wheeler?
I don't know, but I'm down for that. Put that in there.
You think Smith Shawver goes out there and does the job after his worst start ever?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Let's go Braves ML. And I kind of want to put the Blue Jays ML in here too. Not gonna lie.
Let's go.
3 plays, 3 winners.
Sure.
Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. You got 3 minutes to lock in your vote. 3 minutes. Hurry up. Go, go, go. 3 plays, 3 winners. You got the Cardinals, Orioles over 8. You got the Braves on the ML. And you've got the Blue Jays on the ML. Sure we can. Zach Wheeler, weirder and run square on the board. Yes, sir, Parker. Super weird. Super duper weird. And I want to get involved. Lock in your vote. If you're wondering where the hell is this poll, why can I not see it? Why can't I vote? That's because you're watching on YouTube, or maybe you're watching on Twitter. Who knows? Make your way over to the Twitch chat at Bookit Sports and lock in your vote for the squad ride poll. Get involved, please. 3 plays, 3 winners. You got 3 great looking options for you today, all on the diamond. Cardinals, Orioles over 8. You got the Braves on the ML. And how about the Blue Jays on the ML as well? You guys got some plus chicken options. Sure we can. Get involved. Some plus chicken options for your guys Wednesday night. Okay. Cardinals, Orioles over. You got the Braves on the ML and the Blue Jays on the ML. Sure we can. Notorious Wink is saying, go grab the Mets live ML. I'll be honest, that seems a little bit forced, considering how bad the Mets bats have been. It seems a little forced. I would not be doing that. Any takes on the Thunder and Wolves under? JJJ, yes, I like that under. I'm on it myself. Give me the under on the hardwood tonight. Do I like it better than these plays up here? No, I don't. But do I like it? Yes, I certainly do. 3 plays, 3 winners, chat. Miguelito said, I'll be the tie-breaking vote today, fellas. Okay.
Let's go.
Hopefully we don't get there, Miguelito. Okay. Hopefully we don't get there. Lock in those votes, chat. Hurry up. Go, go, go. You got 1 minute left. 1 minute left. And like Billy's saying in the chat, let's cash. Most important thing we do today is cash in this goddamn squad ride. Lock in. Click the right button, please. Okay. Yeah, sleepy chat today, Coop. That's all right. That's all right.
It's a sleepy slate.
Get those votes in. We got a lot of early games. Had to keep those out of this puppy. Giving you guys some late night geyserments. Got some late Jays votes getting involved. Wow. Okay.
Vladdy coming in.
Get involved, chat. Get involved. We got 3 plays, 3 winners, plenty of options. Plenty. Okay. Get involved, please. Get those votes in. Hurry up. You got about 10 seconds left. If it ties, we're going to have to call in the ringer. Guys, please don't tie it.
Dude. Wow.
And it's the Cardinals and
Late
O's.
splish.
Okay.
Late splish.
All right. Hashtag thank you, Goots. Hashtag another over. Sure we can.
Let's go.
All right.
Be done.
WBTL today, W stream. We will catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be.